Hey y'all, my name is Holly Lamb and this is Toby, my constant companion, my little sidekick here at the house. Today I'm going to be taking some thrift items that I found in the past year or so, and I'm going to be dedicating them to the fellas that I live with. There went Kevin, that was fella number one. But let's talk about this little cute fella. I'm going to be joining the Craft Your Stash Challenge. It's a First Friday challenge, and it's hosted by Lisa from Our Great House and Tammy from the Rusted Willow. So we'll talk more about that. But here's the fella we're going to start with. There he is with his cousin Goldie, who's coming to see him for Easter. That's my sister's dog. And they're coming for a visit. But I found this little plaque at the bins one day, and along with some other little goodies that I dug through. And I thought that plaque kind of looked like Toby sitting, waiting on me to do this or that, or waiting on me to, put him out or get him some food or whatever, all the different things that he waits on me to do throughout the day. And so I thought I would kind of make this into a little plaque to go with just one of the wreaths that I hang on my doors inside. And so I'm going to take my go-to, the Waverly Plaster Chalk Paint, and I'm going to give it a couple of coats just to cover up the writing that was all there. It was a great little saying, but let's kind of dress it up a little bit. I want to do some neutrals. This is the Alpha Belly stamp from IOD, and stamps and stencils are a great way to flip things, make them more your own style. They're, they're reusable. So once you have them, you have them. And these IOD stamps, you can see I'm showing you that it's a struggle to get these off, but it's worth it. And when I see people who don't take them off of the backing and they kind of struggle to, keep the ink from touching other things and making little messes. It's worth the fight to get them off the backing and put them on one of those thin mounts. Then I'm going to take, this is the letterpress stamp set. It's got 3 different fonts. I'm going to use that middle font right there, and I'm going to put his name on. So I'm going to start with that, and then we're going to take the Alpha Belly stamp there. I'm going to make a nice pattern on the backing. So now I've got his name and I've got the little backing design that I'm going to put on this whole plaque. And I'm using the stamp pads from the Dollar Tree. These have worked well for me. This is not the first time I've used them. I've used them a couple different times. They are really nice ink. It doesn't say they're permanent, so I'm assuming they are not permanent. There we go. They are in the store. So I treat them like they aren't permanent, and I will take this outside and do a spray of the Rust-Oleum Matte Clear from the spray paint. If something's not permanent when I'm stamping or stenciling, I always spray it with a spray can, which of course is not water soluble, and so it's going to seal things in. It won't smear. And so I've really enjoyed this stamp ink. It comes in black, green, red, and blue, and you'll see I'm going to use the blue here in a second. But I'm just kind of lining this up. I didn't know if I wanted to just put it at the top, but I went ahead and just put it over the entire little dog there. And I like to take a baby wipe and get the ink off my stamps initially, and then I'll take them over to the sink and do a spray of Dawn Power Wash, and it will be just fine. So there's the blue. And so I'm just going to I still have Toby's name there on the thin mount, and I'm just going to go right on top. And so it just adds that little touch of blue. Yeah, very nice. So there I go. This will cover all kinds of great stuff. Give it the same sheen. It will finish and give a matte finish if you've got some kind of Mod Podge on there or anything that is got a little shine and you want to give it a matte finish. This stuff is my go-to. That's the best. And will seal up most anything easily. All right, so I'm going to just kind of dress this up on the little wreath I'm going to be using. And Dollar Tree just has all kinds of stuff. And I don't normally buy the pattern ribbons, you know, with all the different doodads and pictures and things. I usually just go for the lace and the solids and the satins. But I went ahead and grabbed this. I end up not using it because it's just not in me to have that kind of stuff just hanging on the walls. I like it for school things. I like it to put on gifts. I like, you know, things like this for to use in journals. But I end up not using the little dogs. They're so cute, and I just wanted to, but then again, I didn't want to. I just wanted to leave that cute plaque with Toby's name on it all by itself, and, you know, kind of give it the little dressed up version. I thought that would kind of dress it down a little bit. And so what I'm going to do, this is my pantry door, and I just have a command hook there, and I already had a satin ribbon, the white off-white satin. And so this was also from the Dollar Tree, this navy satin thinner ribbon. And so I just tied a double bow there, and I'm going to trim off the tails just with a diagonal trim so that it doesn't hang down over the dog plaque. And then I'm just, you know, I've got several different little wreaths hanging in my craft room on one wall. And so I just grabbed this little cutie for, you know, it's winter, but we're coming into spring. So I thought it kind of did a nice crossover. It's neutral. So here I go. I'm trying to get those little blue tails to look natural, but still I'm fixing and fiddling with it. And I find that the least that I fiddle with it, the better. But I just let them hang there a little bit so we could see that blue, to bring out the blue in Toby's name. And I love that font. It's just a nice, it's almost like the Georgia font in Google Docs, which is what I use on most of my stuff when I'm making documents for school or letters or whatnot. And there he is. Thank you, Mr. Toby, for inspiring that little cutie thing. Now we're going to go around the corner to the piano room, and we're going to dress up a wall with, there we go, with a picture that I'm going to transform in honor of these two lambs, my little other sidekick, my number one sidekick, Kevin. And I found this frame, and it was actually in the back of, you can see there, I'm going to use the clear wood glue on this. It was in the back of Hello Goodbye, and if it's in the back, then it is for free. It's for us to just take and get out of the way. And so this one, I didn't see any major problems with it. It didn't have any hanging mechanism. It didn't have glass or any kind of backings or anything. It was just a frame that was wiggly on one side. And so I used that clear wood glue, the Gorilla wood glue, and some clamps, and it was solid in a couple hours. All right, so I'm going to use this pink sky, which is a little bit darker. Waverly also has a pink cloud, and it's a little bit lighter, and I like that one as well, but I was kind of going for Easter colors, so I was going to make this frame into, gonna make some displays in the piano room on my curio cabinet for Easter. And so I'm changing out my decor, and I decided that we go with this. Now I painted on with a big paintbrush and got some puddles in the little woodworks, and I'm gonna do some waxing, and that's gonna bring out that pretty design in this frame, this old frame. And so I used that small, smaller detail brush to get the puddles out. I didn't want to have any puddles in all the pretty workings there. So you can see that it's not full coverage of the pink sky. I did 2 coats, and so you can see a little bit of the natural wood coming through, and that's what I was looking for. I'm looking for layers. So here goes layer number 2, which is just clear wax. What this clear wax is going to do, the first layer of it, I'm going to use it again in a minute, is it's going to seal up the pink sky. Now, all of this is water soluble, so, when I rub back the wax, some of the pink sky is going to come off, right? Just like that. And so I don't want to get that pink into my clear wax bottle, so I just poured a little bit off there on that. That's just a plastic tablecloth I had left over from fall. And so I'm working from the little puddle now, not from the bottles. And then I'm going to start with the white wax. So white wax in Waverly is kind of ivory. And it's not like white wax DIY or right now I'm using Annie Sloan's white wax, and they are true white. But this ivory is very pretty. It goes along with other things in my house. So I use it, regularly. And I thought it would make the kind of an ivory sheen on this pink sky, which will be really pretty. And I love how it looks in the, the relief in the crevices of the wood. Now, I didn't want too much of the wax on the flat surfaces of this frame. So there I am kind of rubbing it and buffing it in. And if it had gotten too dark on the flat surfaces, I had my clear wax there. It kind of acts like an eraser. Now, here's these cute, oh my gosh, these little sheep by, this is a Roycycle paper, but it's a watercolor by Lexi Grinzer, who does a lot of watercolors for IOD and for Royce at Roycycle Papers. And so it's so cute. So instead of the single one, I thought I'd do the double one for Kevin and I. They're sheep, but, we're lambs, but that's, it's all in the same family. So I thought they were so cute, and it would just sit right above the piano. And Kevin and I, to be musicians, we don't sing and play together in the house as much as probably we should, but we do practice on Saturday nights for Sunday morning. And so that's a pretty common occurrence. And Toby always sits under the piano bench and listens, because he's a little musical dog too. So I'm going to use this little double here, and I'm going to that's just water with a little detail brush. You've seen that before, to get a nice feathered edge in between decoupage paper. Now this is, the Roycycle papers are really nice. They're thin, but they're sturdy. I think they're 18-pound paper, so you can trust it. If you need to pull it up and reposition, you can, which is so nice, which you can't do with, normal napkins. And so here I go. I'm just doing my regular, put down some matte Mod Podge. And with this, I like to take my little sprayer here that I purchased from Amazon. And it's kind of like the Dawn Power Wash sprayer. It's kind of a continuous spray. And I think it's originally for hairspray. But I ordered that, and I like to keep water in it to spray the back of my Roycycle, my JRV decoupage papers, anything like that. The decoupage queen papers sometimes I get from L&J Goods. I like to spray the back with water, and it just makes it a little more flexible to take the, whatever medium I'm using. And right now I'm just using matte Mod Podge, and later I'm going to come on top of it with the gloss Mod Podge to give it more of a artsy look. But there we go. Yep, I'm spraying with the water, and then tap, 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 tapping it on down. And I'm using my brayer because, again, this decoupage paper is tough. It can take it. And this brayer just gives it a nice smooth finish. There'll be no wrinkles at all. And if you're ever worried about using your brayer, put a piece of parchment on top of it, and it'll be fine. Now you see there how the poster board that I use to make my little backing has puckered. And that's because only one side had anything wet put on top of it. So anytime I use poster board or foam core board, I always put, if I'm painting or if I'm decoupaging, I put the paint or the decoupage medium on the other side as well, even if I'm not doing anything. Now here, I'm just taking the extra poster board pieces and making them useful and, putting them on the other side. So what happens is the wetness of the paint or the glue will shrink up one side, and that's why it puckers. So if you do the other side, then it evens it out. And so here I go, just rolling that extra poster board pieces on the back, and there we go, nice and flat. Yeah, I had an extra piece of something too. Probably came in some packaging, and I thought I just wanted a nice firm look because I didn't have any glass. Again, this didn't come with anything but the 4 pieces of wood on the frame. And So now I just want to give it, I'm just trimming it to fit because I put those extra pieces of poster board on. And there we go. And then the last step is going to be putting some gloss Mod Podge on. And I'm just going to use my paintbrush to kind of give it a little swirls. Oh, sorry, not the last thing. I had to go back up to my stash. I forgot about this. And get some wrapping paper. And I decided to go with, I had a couple different, patterns of neutrals that matched my little sheep there, my little lambs. And I thought I'd go ahead and, just kind of go with the whole sheep and wool thing. And I had some that looked like braided wool and or braided yarn. And so I decided to use that to fill in those two spots. Not quite a matte, but just enough to add a little interest. Any of those wrapping papers would have done very nicely, but I decided just to, since it was sheep. Now, I didn't have to fussy cut the outside parts of this wrapping paper, but I did decide what was going to go up and be seen inside the picture. I did want it to look like the braid, so I did fussy cut one side with my little detail scissors there. And then I'm just going to Mod Podge this on just like I did the decoupage paper. There we go. I like these Happy Hobby. What's the hobby brand at Walmart? That's what that paintbrush is, that nice flat big paintbrush. I really enjoy those paintbrushes. Those are nice. There goes my brayer again. Brayer, I've used it. It's a set of 3 I bought from Amazon, and I think that's the medium size. I'm not mistaken. And so I'm just going to take some gloss Mod Podge, and I'm going to do some swirls after I get it trimmed up here, and kind of give it that art look on the front, so that if you look at it from different angles, you're going to see a little bit of design. And we have a little piece of art. That'll be fun for spring and Easter. And, since they are sheep, they might hang around the lamb home for a little while longer. Yeah. I bought this little squeeze bottle. These squeeze bottles are handy. You get those at the Dollar Tree. It's not your best, buy money-wise. You're going to get a better buy from the bigger amounts at Walmart, but I don't use gloss Mod Podge very often, and later in my next flip I'm going to be using triple thick, which is probably my new favorite gloss of choice. You're going to see on my last flip. But there we go, we did little swirls and swoops, and it stayed glossy and nice and flat. So we're just going to put it inside our nice pink sky waxed frame. And of course the wax seals it, so I don't have to take it outside and spray it. And the wax, both clear and the white wax, are going to give it a matte finish, which is very nice. And then I'm just going to, just so this is not permanent, I'm just going to put some hot glue on here. This is just the hot glue sticks from the off-brand from Walmart, which work great. And we all know that hot glue can be pried out, but it's going to hold it just fine. And I'm going to be hanging this on the wall. I have a nail, but it's going to just catch right there on the hot glue. And not a lot of activity goes on in the piano room, so it should be just fine. And there we go. So pretty. I love the little wool, braided wool on top and on the bottom. And we got a little bit of a sheen there. Makes it kind of look artsy and gives it all the same finish. I love how that white wax looks in that woodwork with the pink sky. Great for Easter. And not too shabby for a free frame that I found in the back of Hello Goodbye, our local thrift store. I guess they thought nobody would want it. Love it. All right. And so my final flip, of course, here I'm in Hobby Lobby, and I was looking, of course, he is risen, and these eggs caught my eye, and I've always wanted to try those, and I never have. And so I picked up a package for, it's $4.99, but then, of course, all the Easter stuff right now is 40% off. So, you know, that's not such a bad deal for, what does that make that, $3.50? Not too bad. We have a large egg and a small, and so I put them together just to kind of see, and I'm so glad I did this because I end up doing my flip or doing my, DIY with them already together like this. Because I got this one apart, and I thought, okay, I'm going to lay it out here, I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to decoupage it. But this one was not coming apart for nothing. And so I thought, if I get it apart, then if I add paint and glue and napkin, it's never getting back together. And I'm going to mess up my napkin because it's such a tight fit. So I decided to go ahead and just, I had to scooch it up as much as I could to get that little tag. Why we needed a tag on the inside of a packaging, I don't know. But anyway. All right, so I'm going to do them as is. I'm going to decoupage just like this so that I won't mess it up when I'm trying to put it back together. And I could have used white for this, but chalk paint was the best choice because it has the best coverage. And I wanted that MDF to get a nice smooth finish on the edges because those edges were going to show. So I didn't want them to be loose and kind of bumpy. All right, so I'm going to use these two to make a little, a little duo of eggs, rebirth, and spring and all that good stuff. And now this set I bought at a thrift store. I don't even remember when. It's been in my hutch for maybe years. It's been in there so long. And it's funny, I was listening to the playlist and I was listening to Tammy talk about her craft supplies. Yeah, and she said I hoard it because I just love my craft supplies. I don't want to use them. But I'm kind of the same way. But that napkin would not separate. The ply, there was no plies. It said it was a linen-like napkin. And honestly, there was no layers. It was one layer. It was nice and thick and soft. It was a beautiful napkin, almost like fabric. And so I thought, well, I'm not sure because, if you don't separate your plies, you're not going to get the Mod Podge in there. It's not going to decoupage right. So I thought, let me try this since it would not, act like a napkin. I know. I thought, let me just go grab something from my stash. And so I got this little T sign that I had bought from the Restore last Christmas. They had put the whole store, ho, 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 on half price. And so I got this little sign for nil to nothing. But I just went ahead and painted it white. It was from the Folk Art white. And gave it a couple of coats. And then I thought, well, we're just going to see what this napkin does. It's paper, but it's acting like fabric. And it is the best napkin experience I've had so far. And I decoupage a lot. And it was strong. It was smooth. Everything went down. I could lift it up. I could put it back down. It acted like, tough decoupage. Honestly, it acted like fabric. But it decoupaged like, beautiful napkins. So I was impressed. I hope I can find this linen-like napkin stuff again. I don't know where in the world I can find this. I've not seen it at Home Goods or TJ Maxx or any place that I find real pretty napkins like this. All right, so I'm going to see how it sands because normally I would take my nail files and my sanding blocks from Dollar Tree and sand it off. I decided to do the outside first and just see where we are. And these are the nail files I buy on Amazon in bulk, and that's what I use for most of my sanding. And it was kind of tough. I had let the Mod Podge dry completely. And it was, giving me, it was on there. It wasn't peeling up. There was no bubbling. There was no problems that normally you would get if you had left a ply or a layer of napkin on it. So far so good. It was just a little tough to sand off, but that's okay. I was persistent. Well, I got it. And then I wanted to take out and just have a frame, so I took that out with a little craft knife and some more of my nail files, and we got that out. Loved it. And so here, I thought this time, instead of gloss, I'm going to use my Super Matte, which is a great finishing Mod Podge. I never use it for decoupage because it's a little more expensive than matte Mod Podge. So I always use it as just the top layer because it is a true matte, where matte Mod Podge still has a glossy sheen. Okay, so far so good. I love it. It's working great. So I just went up to my stash of transfers and I found this Redesign with Prima transfer that I had used on my book stack that looked like a tree. It was a Christmas tree, and I turned it around and put a bunch of these birds and branches on it and made it into a spring tree last year. But now I just had some extra stuff, some birds and nests, and that Be the Light little sentiment was nice. And so I decided I would just, use some of this stuff up. Why am I holding on to it just for funsies? So I'm trying to make it fit into my little newly made frame here. The back didn't come off. It wasn't designed to come off. It was just a solid back. So I'm having to just, make it work. And that's the beauty of transfers. You can just make your own picture. So I decided I liked the nest, but I thought I'm going to save the nest. I'm going to make it more of a spring picture and less Eastery, with the Easter eggs and whatnot, and make it more, spring. So I use that a little wreath says Be the Light, which of course we all strive to be Jesus light in this world. There we go, and I'm burnishing it in. And then I'm going to take this little birdhouse, and I'm trying to decide, no, I'm going to put it back on its backing for a sec, because I want to put that little branch, it's just a little piece of eucalyptus. I didn't have any branches left in this transfer, so I was trying to get something little greenery underneath my little birdhouse here. And then the bird sitting right on top, trying to decide which way I want to make him lean. There he goes. Yeah. Looking awful cute. So I'm just using my little transfer stick and getting it all rubbed in there real nice. If you've never used transfers, oh my goodness, come over to the light, Be the Light, join transfers. It's like adult stickers are so fun to use. And I'll link this little set below in the description box. It's from Amazon, but IOD is supposed to come out with their spring release this week. That's what the stockists are saying, and they say it's great, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited. I know they'll have some beautiful things. I always get my IOD things from Deb down at Cottle and Gun in St. Mary's. Oh, here we go. So thank you to Tammy from the Rusted Willow and Lisa from Our Gray House for being our hosts. I leave their channels linked in my description box and the playlist. And I know this is a big playlist. I'm linking up to it a little bit late. It's Saturday, but I'm still going to join the first Friday. They're always real sweet to let me link on late if I've had a big week at school, and it was a fun week at school. So we're getting it put on. No problem. Not worried. All right, so I was very happy to use this fabric-like napkin on my little eggs. We painted them white so that the decoupage or paper or napkins, in this case, would be true to color. They wouldn't be dark. But honestly, if you had some opaque, like if I want to do another one and I wanted to use some music, just put some pretty older music on there, I would not have had to paint that white, because anything opaque would have, it just wouldn't have been necessary to paint it all white. But I went ahead and put, I think I ended up putting 3 coats of the white chalk paint on both the big and the little egg here. And this napkin was so tough. You know, I'm thinking about doing some more decoupage with fabric, because this was just so easy to do. I just folded it, laid it right down in there, and then, you know, put the glue on, and then just laid it right into the glue. It was just as easy as that. And I was able to be, you know, not super rough, but kind of rough. I would never have been that rough on a one ply of a regular napkin like I will with the little egg. I'm going to use that kind of brown and white napkin from Home Goods, and that's where I got those napkins, which is where I get a lot of my beautiful napkins. Home Goods is a great place to get it. TJ Maxx, Bell's has pretty napkins. Okay, so here's the triple thick from Deco Art. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. I think it was like $5.69, $5.59. There we go. And I think it might be my new favorite gloss, because it goes on glossy and it doesn't fade at all. And I ended up putting 3 coats of gloss on the little egg, the one that I'm making here with the Home Goods napkin. Now this is a 3-ply, so I'm going to peel those off just like normal. This is what I'm used to. The other one was just strangely wonderful and tough and beautiful. But this one also is beautiful. And so I end up putting 3 coats, because I did end up with a few bubbles and wrinkles that I will sand down a little bit. But that triple thick on top of these eggs just makes it look so professional. I love the way this triple thick looks. So I am definitely going to be going back to Hobby Lobby for some more of that. Probably can order it on Amazon. I haven't looked, but any of the links I put below for Amazon stuff. I don't have an Amazon store or anything like that. I'm not affiliated with anyone. You know, I'm just making these things for my house. And but I really like the triple thick. It had kind of an odor. It wasn't horrible. I'm not a big fan of Mod Podge gloss. It smells, and that's what we used when we did my daughter's the place cards for her wedding last fall. We triple thick would have been great. I didn't know about it. We used gloss Mod Podge, and I put several coats. I think I put 3 coats on all of the oyster shells, and it did beautifully. It looked great. But I think that triple thick, I would have had to do less coats, and it honestly just doesn't smell as bad. Now, Mod Podge Matte and the Super Matte, they don't have a smell at all. But here I am. I'm just taking a little, I'm using the very fine grit side of my nail files. These that I get from Amazon have a real tough grit, like an 80 grit, and the other side is more like a 220. And so I'm using the real fine grit side on this to smooth out any wrinkles. It's not going to hurt the napkin if your Mod Podge is completely dry. Okay, so here we go. And again, I was going to tell you I did 3 coats on this egg. There we go, nice and thick. And I only did 2 on the other just so that I could get out this video. I'm going to go back because I love the 3rd coat. It just looks like all of the beautiful, shiny decoupage things you see in the store right now. I'm going to put another coat on the blue one because I think 3 coats is the trick. But you can see kind of a little bit of the gloss. I was trying to catch the light a little bit so that you can see. And I put gloss on the edges, the white edges as well. You can kind of see where that gloss is. Oh my goodness, I just think those look so pretty right there on my curio in the piano room with the little Be the Light frame. Oh, there he is. All right. I want to leave you with a scripture. This is 1 Corinthians 16:14. Let all that you do be done in love. And of course, I love my Toby and then my sweet husband Kevin. And then of course, this season, the Easter season, Easter's coming soon. And Jesus is of course the reason for all our seasons, and every Sunday is a little Easter. We celebrate that we can be his light in this world. I want to thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to show you, I think I'm showing you right there the matte finish and then the gloss finish, and I just love how both of them look. Matte and the gloss. Fabulous. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. And until next time, I say God bless, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.